At 2:30 a.m., the rain is falling so lightly over Antwerp that it sounds like static, a city breathing in its sleep, unaware that beneath the glow of street lamps and the quiet authority of stone buildings, history is about to be rearranged. The Diamond District looks invincible at night. 4 square blocks wrapped in steel shutters, patrolled by armed guards, watched by cameras that never blink. Every vault door down there has been engineered to resist earthquakes, fire, time itself. And yet, tonight, somewhere behind those locked facades, a man is listening to the click of a sensor and smiling because it sounds exactly the way he hoped it would. 6 years earlier, in 1997, the man had arrived in Antwerp with a suitcase and a plan that wasn't fully formed yet, only a feeling. He rented a modest office across from the Diamond Center, close enough to smell the metal and polish, close enough to blend in. His name was Leonardo Notarbartolo, an Italian dealer with the posture of a businessman and the patience of a watchmaker. Every morning he walked past the same guards, nodded to the same clerks, drank coffee where diamanteers complained about margins and taxes. He listened, he learned, and slowly, invisibly, he became part of the scenery. By 1999, he had keys. By 2000, he had trust. He leased a small office inside the Diamond Center itself, the kind of place no one questioned because it looked exactly like every other office. Beige walls, a desk, a safe. Inside that safe, beneath invoices and paperwork, was a camera hidden in a pen, quietly memorizing the movements of guards, the timing of patrols, the choreography of security. Every evening after closing, when the building exhaled and went dark, Leonardo stayed late, counting seconds between footsteps, noting which alarms were tested and which were merely assumed to work. At 11:47 p.m. on a Sunday night in February 2003, the Diamond Center is sealed. The outer doors lock with a sound like a coffin closing. Motion sensors hum to life. Heat detectors settle into their watch. The vault below, protected by a magnetic field, seismic sensors, infrared beams, and a lock with over 100 million possible combinations, waits in silence. Above it all, Leonardo and 4 others sit in a rented apartment, watching a clock with the intensity of gamblers who have already placed their bets. At midnight, they move. The elevator descends with the grace of something that believes it belongs there. Leonardo carries a black bag, light enough to be forgettable, heavy enough to change everything. When the doors open onto the underground level, the air is cooler, denser. The corridor smells like concrete and money. They move slowly, deliberately, because speed is the enemy now. Every step has been rehearsed in kitchens and garages back in Italy, acted out with tape on the floor, corrected, repeated. At 12:23 a.m., they reach the vault door. The first obstacle is the magnetic alarm, a system designed to scream if the door is opened even a fraction of an inch. Leonardo removes a small metal plate from his bag and slides it into place, tricking the sensor into believing the door is still sealed. The system remains quiet. Somewhere above them, a guard yawns and flips a page in a magazine. At 12:31 a.m., the infrared beams come next, invisible lines crossing the space like a web. A mirror, cut precisely to size, is angled into position, bending the beams back onto themselves. The vault doesn't notice the deception. It keeps sleeping. At 12:44 a.m., they face the seismic sensor embedded in the floor, calibrated to detect vibrations from drilling or force. Leonardo kneels and gently sprays hairspray onto the sensor, freezing it just enough to dampen any movement. It's a solution so simple it feels like a joke, the kind of trick that makes engineers wince and criminals laugh. The floor accepts the lie. At 12:59 a.m., the combination lock turns. Leonardo's fingers move with the confidence of muscle memory, numbers learned not by sight but by feel, by hours of practice until the sequence lives somewhere deeper than thought. The vault opens without protest. Inside, there are 189 safety deposit boxes, each one holding a fragment of someone's fortune. Diamonds wrapped in paper, gold bars, cash stacked with rubber bands, secrets sealed in envelopes. The room smells faintly of oil and velvet. Time compresses. From 1 a.m. to 3:20 a.m. they work. Boxes are removed, emptied, discarded. Diamonds spill into bags like frozen stars. The men speak only in whispers, not because they need to, but because silence feels respectful here, like a cathedral. Outside the vault, nothing changes. Cameras continue to record an empty corridor. Alarms continue to hear nothing wrong. At 3:28 a.m., a janitor passes through the upper floors, humming to himself, unaware that beneath his feet an estimated $100 million in diamonds has just changed hands. The thieves are already packing up, cleaning fingerprints, erasing themselves. They leave behind a vault that looks almost untouched, except for the hollowed-out boxes, like teeth pulled cleanly from a jaw. At 4:55 a.m., they step back into the elevator. By 4:10 a.m., the Diamond Center is locked exactly as it was before. The building doesn't know it's been robbed. The city doesn't know it's been embarrassed. Antwerp sleeps on. At 6:15 a.m., a guard unlocks the main doors and begins his routine. He checks the monitors, the panels, the indicators, all green, all normal. It isn't until 9 a.m. when a diamond merchant opens his safety deposit box and finds it empty that the silence breaks. The scream travels fast, echoing through marble halls, into offices, onto phones. By noon, the word unprecedented is being used carefully, like a fragile thing. Police arrive and descend into the vault with the reverence of mourners. They photograph the mirrors, the hairspray residue, the false plate. Each solution is elegant, minimal, almost polite. This wasn't a smash and grab. This was a conversation with the system, and the system lost. By evening, the press has named it the Heist of the Century. 3 days later, 60 miles away, a farmer in a quiet Italian village notices trash scattered along a country road, sandwich wrappers, water bottles, burned documents. He calls the police, annoyed more than alarmed. When officers arrive, they find something else among the debris, a receipt from a parking garage in Antwerp. The receipt leads to a name. Leonardo Notarbartolo is arrested a week later, calm, almost bored. In his car, police find diamonds, far fewer than expected, but enough to tell a story. During interrogation, Leonardo denies the scale. He insists it wasn't 100 million. He insists the legend has grown beyond the truth. He smiles when they tell him how impressed they are. At 2 p.m. on the day of his sentencing, the diamonds not recovered are already scattered across the world, indistinguishable now from any others. They sit in rings, in vaults, in windows under bright lights, admired by people who will never know where they came from. The system absorbs the loss and keeps going. It always does. Leonardo goes to prison, but the blueprint he left behind is harder to contain. Engineers quietly update sensors, guards double-check routines. Somewhere, someone watches a vault door and wonders if it's really as secure as it looks. And late at night, when the city is quiet and the rain sounds like static again, the Diamond District still stands, polished and proud, a monument to wealth and caution. Beneath it, the vault waits, forever changed by the night it learned that perfection, if studied long enough, can be undone without ever raising its voice.